Nick Henderson.
So they can be red hot on the pace as soon as they get to that first corner. So the initial pace of this race will be so much faster than the first one they had just moments ago.
Just waiting for one bike to come through at the back. Glenn Allerton, the man, he's now there. Ready to go in ninth position on the grid. There's the red light. We're away for the final 250cc. Friday and almost squeezed out Brent George. It was between David Anthony and also Liam McGee, but George has come through. He'll lead into Doohan Corner. Anthony on his inside. Here comes McGee as well, but Brent George this time has the lead from Liam McGee as they go around Doohan Corner, although Liam puts the head down and tries to get on his outside, but George holds it around Southern Loop and will lead from Liam McGee.
It's Allerton in third place, so he's better right off the start. Now he's got to get onto the back of these two, George and McGee in the front, not let them get away.
That's David Anthony back in fourth, and we've also got a number of riders trying to charge up on the inside as McGee tries to have another look at George. Here comes
Allerton. No, he's too hot. Way too hot into Honda Hairpin. It's a role reversal there. 1, 2, 3 in, 3, 2, 1 out of Honda Hairpin from the first lap.
Here comes George up the inside and McGee takes him there. McGee back to second, wobble a little bit. He tries to get him back, but McGee is in second off the track.
Using a bit more than everything of the track.
Might as well get your money's worth as Brent George takes the lead. Allerton putting pressure on McGee again. They're coming from everywhere.
Holland
That's
up
Russell Holland also there, and with him is David Arnott. Liam McGee's been all over the place, but Brent George, the man who leads, down Lukey Heights into MG Corner. McGee's second. Can he narrow that gap there? Here he comes again. Brent George out in front. How long will that last, though?
Well, we'll see what happens down the front straight this time. George using the whole curb, not quite going for the grass, but just every inch of the curb.
Now they come down Gardner Straight for the first time. McGee very close to George. Can he get the draft? There's a line. Here comes McGee pulling out. They'll go down to Doohan Corner. McGee goes past. He leads after lap one. George
Holland.
Up the inside goes Holland.
Allerton
he takes
up the
them all.
inside.
Allerton, where's he come from? Holland back in front. Now McGee comes again. Allerton's there as well. It's the charge of the Light Brigade as they go into Southern Loop.
The boys are out. There's going to be a bit of this going on. I told you the pace would be red hot from the get-go in this second race, and it is exactly that. Everything is perfectly up to temperatures. They know exactly what their tyres are capable of from that first race as soon as they get into that first turn from the green light.
Well, let's work out what we've got here. With Russell Holland, Allerton under pressure. Now also in there, Liam McGee.
No!
Ball going down was Allerton. He's onto the grass. He's finished his afternoon or his morning. And that means we've got a new leader out in front. Who is it? Liam McGee's back there. And with him comes Brent George.
Definitely not a clear winner anywhere near at this stage of the race. 2 laps down, 4 to go.
Here comes Nick Henderson behind them as well. George
Up
under
the
pressure.
inside.
McGee can't hold him. George is ticking it. That is behind them. Nick Henderson's come from nowhere. McGee comes again. George on the outside. Who's going to have the run? Up Lukey Heights. It is going to be Liam McGee.
George not close enough to look down the inside, but that'll come. McGee a bit hot on the throttle there out of MG. Out of the seat a little bit, but not too bad. Just let George get right onto his back wheel now for the draft down the front straight.
Down Gardner Straight they come again. You can't afford to look away for a second. It happens everywhere, very quickly. Liam McGee, Brent George right behind him. Now he tries to go on the outside. McGee cutting him across, not giving him much track. George looks up the inside, now gets the draft. Down Gardner Straight, McGee leads. Here comes George into Doohan Corner. And on the outside, Nick Henderson puts his 2 bobs worth in. But George takes the lead. Here comes McGee again. He's got him. Henderson goes with him. Around Southern Loop, it's now McGee from Henderson. George back to third.
George way too hot into Doohan Corner and just way too wide on the exit.
Liam McGee is back in front.
George will be back though, don't worry. We're only need a couple of corners to make up that kind of distance in this 250 production class.
They'll all be back. Nick Henderson is in second. He's come from nowhere. But Liam McGee leads. Now there goes George. Will he hold on to it? Now Henderson's in front. Henderson's come from third. McGee's gone back to third. Henderson, George, McGee. 1, 2, 3. Who's turn is it next?
Well, they just keep doing it, and they outbrake each other, they outbrake themselves, and in the meantime, they try to keep the thing on the black part of the track.
They're doing their best to do that at the moment, as Nick Henderson is our leader, 18 years of age, winner of the 99 Stars of Tomorrow, and he is in front, the Victorian. Started from 7th on the grid. Over Lukey Heights down to MG corner. On the inside goes George. He's got him there. Here comes Liam McGee as well, but Henderson holds him. Henderson will come again. George has got it round turn 11, then 12 into Gardner Straight. It'll be another thrilling ride down Gardner Straight as Henderson right behind George. Has he got him here? They come into Gardner Straight. Here comes Liam McGee as well. It's almost 3 side by side as they come down Gardner Straight. What a race this is.
Down the front straight this time. Which way is this going to work out into Doohan Corner? In the braking area after the drafting is sorted out. McGee's starting to get the slingshot and on the inside, so he's positioned himself nicely. Easy. Straight into it.
Liam McGee does well. Henderson second. He almost touched then, it looked like, with George, who crossed the start-finish line in front as they've got lap 4 now. And it's Liam McGee. We're only halfway through.
The boys are red hot. This stuff is so good and it's so close that absolutely nobody can get away in this one.
It's racing 3 at the moment. You can see a bit of a gap back to 4th, but it wouldn't surprise if that's closed in a lap or two as George tries to take Henderson, keeps him out. McGee in front. Can George come up? Henderson, I should say, come up on the inside? No. Liam McGee keeps him at bay at the moment, with George back in 3rd, but Henderson comes again. McGee right across in front, maintains his lead, and it looks like the 4th bike is trying to get on the back of this leading 3. There is a bit of a gap, but it is closing. And that looks like it could be Glenn Kelleher trying to come up as McGee, Henderson and George, a battle in 3 out in front. What a battle it has been.
Henderson's looking like he's getting himself set up to try to have a dive down into MG, but it's George way out wide over Lukey. Down the inside of Henderson into MG. Takes him for second.
And here comes Henderson again. Can he get George? No, he maintains that second position. And while that's happening, Liam McGee opening up a little bit of a gap as they come round turn 12 into Gardner Straight. Once again, they've had 4. They'll get the sign. There's 2 laps remaining. And what a 250cc Proddy race we've had.
George a little bit too hot into MG. Lost a little bit of time, but he's good onto the front straight.
He just breezes past Liam McGee. Here comes Henderson. He's gone from 3rd into 2nd, and Brent George into Doohan Corner will take the lead with 2 laps remaining. McGee's back in 3rd. He's trying to come up on the inside of Henderson. He closes there into Southern Loop. Here comes Liam McGee again on the Ripple Strip, very close. Now on the outside of Henderson. Can he take him? Henderson maintains the line and stays second, and Brent George leads the race. Liam McGee doing everything he can to try and get that lead back. Brent George just having a look to see how far behind they are. I can tell you, they're right on your tail.
And Kelleher is nearly there.
Here comes Henderson. He's taken George. Can he hold it? As Liam McGee comes up on the inside and gets the lead back. Here comes George again. He'll take the lead this time. It's his turn, is it? No. Liam McGee holds him off, but up the inside goes George, and it's his turn to have the lead.
Well, as we say many times about this 250 production racing, this is a brilliant example as there is exactly nothing in it. And it's Kelleher who's come onto the back to make it a 4-way stoush for the 3 spots on the podium.
And Kelleher will be in 3rd. He is in 3rd. Won't be long before he's in 2nd. He's come from nowhere. We did mention him about a lap ago, and it hasn't taken him much time. Down Lukey Heights into MG Corner. Here they come. Liam McGee, George on the inside. Kelleher now into 3rd and dropping back to 4th as Henderson. He may have done his dash, although you can't write anyone off. Liam McGee, George, Kelleher and Henderson, the top 4 as they come round turn 12 into Gardner Straight. They'll get the final lap. And what a final lap it promises to be.
Into Honda Hairpin. Let's just wait and see what happens.
Here they come side by side, 3 across the track. It is Kelleher, McGee and George across the line. Can't split them, but it's the number 5, Glenn Kelleher, into Doohan Corner. Here comes Henderson again. Don't forget him. McGee's back to 3rd. George is in 2nd, but it is the number 5 of Glenn Kelleher, the ACT, the Canberrian, who's in 2nd now. As up the inside goes Liam McGee.
Back from 3rd into the lead, just on the entry into Southern Loop. and makes it look so easy through that section. These guys have got all different favourite sections where they're quicker, so that's another reason why we see so many lead changes.
Here comes Kelleher trying to get on the outside of Liam McGee. Up the inside goes George. They're very close there, Kelleher and McGee, but I think you'll find that McGee will get across. He does. But also coming again, Kelleher now, he takes the lead.
These guys are amazing. Kelleher has come from absolutely nowhere. He looks like he's got their measure at the moment.
He certainly does. McGee second, Brent George third, dropping off the back a bit Henderson. He is a little bit behind. Glenn Kelleher now. McGee, George, what can they do? Is it going to be Kelleher's race? He is in front. Will he be in front when it counts? Around they go over Lukey Heights, down to MG Corner. Just a couple of turns to go. McGee on the inside. Can he get past Kelleher? He does into MG Corner. And also coming through, George goes past Kelleher into turn 11 now. Just one turn to go. Kelleher comes back and takes George. Then he'll take McGee as they come down now. Round turn 12 into Gardner Straight. The sprint is on. Who'll it be? Kelleher or McGee? Don't discount George. At the moment, Glenn Kelleher in front. Here comes Liam McGee. The finish line not far away. McGee flying. Photo. I'll give it to Kelleher. Kelleher's got there by 1/1000th of a second. What a race.
Unbelievable stuff. Just totally unbelievable.
What a race. Glenn Kelleher, 1/1000th. There is the finish. The bike on the inside, outside, whichever way you want to look at. The number 5 is the man who'll get there. Oh, how close.
Well, that's 250 production racing, and that is what it's all about. After 6 laps, it comes down to like 6 centimetres, and that's all that's in it.
What a finish. Glenn Kelleher from Canberra, the ACT, victorious over Liam McGee, who'll win the series. Tremendous stuff. Glenn Allerton, there's his fall. He's sliding off the track there earlier. He was the man that went off. Bike number 58, and lucky to just slide across and not get hit from behind by Russell Holland. Very fortunate there for Glenn Allerton. He was able to get up and walk away from that accident. But what a race it was. Congratulations, Glenn Kelleher. But Liam McGee has won the 250cc Proddy Series. He finished on 65 points. Brent George and Russell Holland equal second. But what a race. The 250cc Proddies have whetted the appetite. Warren Smith.